viewers, this is Karim Raouf from IT Visualizer channel. We will continue our lab, the Red Alert Labs, the video number 106. We have been discussing in the previous video the following. We have been working now for 17 videos on discussing the documentation which is called CIS, Critical Security Controls version 8, which is a documentation discussing how to protect yourself against cybersecurity attacks. This was issued by the organization which is called Center for Internet Security, which is an organization. It's mainly focused on issuing recommendations and documentations concerning securing different operating systems and different applications and securing networks in general. So this documentation, how to protect yourself against cybersecurity attacks, we have discussed about 8 points concerning, or which is listed in this documentation. In short, the 8 points, the first point is to make an inventory of your enterprise assets hardware. The second point is to make inventory of your enterprise assets software. The third point is to data protect or data protection your data when it is in rest and when it is in transit. The fourth point is to establish, maintain and secure your configuration for your enterprise assets software and hardware. The fifth point is to something called account management. The sixth point is to access control management. The seventh point is to something called vulnerability management process. Okay, this is the 5 points. The 8th point is to audit log management. Okay, and today we will discuss something called email and web protection. This is the 9th points that we will discuss today concerning how to protect yourself against cybersecurity attacks by configuring or securing your email clients and your email servers, and to secure your web browsers. But before that, the previous point, which was securing securing audit log management, I have missed a couple of points. When we are when we are managing our audit logs, or when we are managing our event logs or system logs, you need to first of all retain audit logs for at minimum 90 days. So I have said before that audit logs are special logs that are written in the event viewer of the Windows operating system. There is some audit logs also that can be logged or written in, for example, the firewall or different devices, but we are talking in especially, or we are focusing on the audit logs in Windows operating systems. We have said before that normal logs doesn't contain a lot of details, but audit logs contains additional details, and also it can monitor some events that are not normally logged by the Windows operating system. So for example, you can activate an option in Windows to monitor the plugin of USB devices. So this is in very short terms the audit logs. So it's saying here you need to retain or to maintain these audit logs for at minimum 90 days for most of your enterprise assets. These enterprise assets could be Windows 10, Windows Server, firewall, switches or Cisco switches. So you need to retain these logs or secure these logs or back up these logs or archive these logs for at least 90 days. And then you have the choice to dispose it or to rewrite the logs or something like this, or to destroy it, for example. But in practical life, you need to maintain these logs for a long time. Okay, so because you can make it or you can use it as future reference. Then he is talking here that you should conduct audit log reviews. You should review these audit logs on a frequent base. For example, maybe every week. But every week is it's a lot of time. You can review the logs or your system logs, and especially the audit logs. You can revise them every week, maybe not every week. you can make it every month or every quarter, for example. You need to do this, okay? And the last point in the audit log management, to collect server providers log. What he mean by server providers logs? The systems that is responsible for authentication and authorization of user accounts. This you should collect their logs. For example, the domain controller is responsible for authenticating the users or to verify the user accounts are already existing within the domain, and to authorize them to access certain objects in the domain, for example, to access certain files, to access certain shares, and this is related to the permissions that you give to the user. So the domain controller is responsible for authenticating the user, verifying the user, and to authorize the user to access certain objects or certain files or services within the domain. Okay, so this is you should collect the logs of the domain controller. This is not only related to the domain controller, this is also related to application servers. For example, maybe you have a financial application that you create accounts on it, okay, to work with the financial system. So the financial application will verify the user accounts, okay, that are created within the financial system, and it will authorize these accounts to do certain jobs on the application. So for example, maybe you are making there is an accountant user on the financial system, so the financial application will verify that this accountant user is already within the application, and it will see the permissions and the rights assigned to this account, okay, and authorize the user to use these rights or to work with these rights. So here we see that the financial application will be considered a system that is authenticating and authorizing users and accounts, and it contains authentication and authorization events. So in short, you need to collect service provider logs, you need to conduct audit log reviews, you need to retain audit logs, okay? And we have said before in the previous point here in audit logs that you should have an audit log management process guide, okay? You should have a PDF or a documentation that will describe the audit log management process, what events you are auditing, where you will store it, what software you will use to collect the audit logs, how much time you will retain these logs, how much time you need to conduct audit log reviews. So I have a little bit of an example of this kind of audit log process guide. Okay, let me show you all. This is a guide for a clinical or something called Clone Health. This is an organization, and this is a PDF that is discussing how we can audit log or how we can manage the audit logs, what we are auditing. Here, for example, he's saying the scope of the audit. He is saying that you should, for example, audit events to protect yourself against external intrusions, security risks, and to make audit logs to monitor system performance problems and flaws. So you are not only logging events or logs, or you are not auditing only security events, but you are auditing system performance, okay, system performance logs, okay, to, for example, maybe there is something in the Windows operating system and it is logged, then you should monitor these logs to rectify the system performance problems and flaws, okay? So this is one of the things this PDF says, and which are the responsibilities, okay, who will be responsible for using and collecting these logs. So for example, he's saying that the Chief Information Security Officer is responsible for revision, implementation, workforce education, encryption, and enforcement of this procedure of the audit log. And for example, let's see here what kind here is saying what are why we are auditing, okay, ensure all systems store, process, and transmit covered information are subject to audit and monitoring. So saying here what you are auditing all systems that store, process, and transmit covered information. So you should audit all of these operating systems, okay? What you should audit, for example, here you should audit kind of audits: audit user events, applications and database, system, network. So these are the kind of types of audit logs. Okay, and what is these audit logs should contain? It should contain the user ID, the service name, the time this event happens. So these are all events that should be contained within an audit log. So this is a very important PDF, or a very good example of audit logging and monitoring procedures. So this is for an organization called One Health. So I will leave this PDF within a Google Drive link in the description of the video. So this is a very good thing, or a very good example about how we can make an audit management log guide or process. Okay, so these are the things, or these are the 3 points that I forgot to discuss, and this is an example how we can make an audit log process guide. Just a minute, guys. So let's continue, guys. Now these are the points that I forgot to discuss concerning how you can make an audit log management process. Okay, there is some tools that you can use to audit certain events within the Windows operating system. These events, or to audit these events, you can, or to view these events, you can view this from the event viewer, but there is some free tools that you can use to view events within the Windows operating system, and these events are not displayed in the event viewer. So for example, let me show you all some of these kind of tools or free tools. So let me get to this point. There is something called Nearsoft. These are some tools that you can use, free tools, to audit, for example, accessing files within the Windows operating system, to see the time a machine was started, for example, to see a lot of things. So let me show you some of these free tools. You can download it from a website called Nearsoft. So for example, this is a program. When we open it, this is called Open Files View. So if you open it, what we will see here, we will see that it will get, or you can see from this program, the last files that were opened and who had opened these files. What is the user that is opening this file? Let me show you all something here. Let's wait for a moment. So here, for example, we can see that there is a Windows update, okay, or this is something called Windows update log. This is a log, okay, and this was opened at 8:08 a.m. okay, and then we can see that this is the path of the file and who is the user that is using this file, or who has opened this file. Maybe Karim, this is the user that opened the file. So this is a utility that you can use to audit the accessing of files on the operating system. Okay, by the way, I didn't apply, or I didn't activate the audit options to monitor accessing files and folders, but this is a free software that access the operating system and search for the files opened, okay, without activating the audit options. This is a very good tool to check what files opened by what users on a certain machine. So this is one thing. And then we can see, for example, another free software. Let me show you all something here. There is another software that we can use from this. Let me show you all some files here. So here, for example, there is something called, let me get to this one, last activity view. Let me show you this one. So this is a lot of free software that you can use to audit certain events, or to search for certain events, okay, that happened on the machine. Okay, this is not related to the system or the event viewer logs. Okay, some of them this software gets, or this software gets the activity of certain, or gets certain events happened on the machine from other sources other than the event viewer. Sometimes he goes to the event viewer and search for certain events, but this is not the case. So for example, here we can see that this is also called last activity view. Here we can see that, for example, the last thing that I have done, that opening the file or opening this folder, nearsoft folder, and this is the location, and this is the source, or where is the program is listed. Okay, and I think here the user is not included, but we can see here what was opened in what time and what is the description, run.exe or off view a folder in Explorer. So here we can see what happened on the machine. Maybe here we don't have the list, or we don't have the user that used this or the user opening this program, but we can get it from another program. These are free utilities. For example, maybe here also I can show you all something called last time up or turned on times view. So this is also when the machine was started and when it was shut down and when it was restarted. This program gets this information sometimes from the event viewer logs or from other sources like registry keys or something like this. So these programs, or these free programs, sometimes they get their data from the event viewer logs itself or from other sources like registry keys or registry entries. So this is a very good program to use, or these are free programs that will help you to display certain events or to collect information about certain events, maybe not logged in the event viewer logs or written in the event viewer logs, or and as said before, it can get it from other sources like registry keys or something. So this is also that I was trying to say about the audit log management. Okay, this was things I was talking about. So let's go to the second, or the point that we are trying to discuss today, which was called email and web browser protection. So let me get to this PDF. Just wait for a moment. If you go to CS controls version 8, if you go to the point concerning email and web browsers protection, if you go there and open this, okay, we can see that improve protections and detections of threats from email and web vectors, as these are opportunities for attackers to manipulate human behavior through direct management. So here see the weakest point in any organization is the email and web browsers, because this is the only way, or this is the only window that you interact with the internet. And the internet is the internet, there is a lot of opportunities to be hacked through the internet. As long as your browsers, or as long as your internal network is not exposed to the internet, then you are safe from getting hacked. But if you have any program that it is facing the internet, then you have a risk of being hacked and your internal servers to be exposed to hackers. Okay, so you need to be very careful for securing your email clients and secure your web browsers and to secure your email servers. So how we can do this? Actually, I have discussed this before. We have there is the Department of Defense of the United States. They have recommendations to secure Outlook clients. These are the programs used to browse emails or to check emails within an organization. And also there is the recommendations of the Department of Defense of the United States to secure web browsers, different web browsers like Chrome, like Edge, like Firefox. These are also included. And there is some recommendations not by the Department of Defense of the United States, but by CIS organization to secure your Office 365 email services. Okay, let me show you all this also PDF. If we open this one, let me show you, this is something called CIS, Microsoft Office 365 benchmark. And here we can see that, let me show you all something here. Let me go further again, application permissions, and then email security online or email security exchange online. So this is here how you can secure your Office 365 email. These are some recommendations that you can use to secure your Microsoft Office 365 email. So this also I encourage you all to see it. You can download it from the CIS website, and I will leave this documentation also in a Google Drive link in the description of the video. And also, it's not talking about securing email, but securing OneDrive, securing most of the Microsoft 365 services. So this is also a good PDF to work with. So let's continue and see the recommendations to secure email and web browsers. I have said before there is a lot of recommendations to secure email clients, like the Department of Defense of the United States securing Outlook, and the Department of Defense of securing Edge and Chrome and Firefox. You can download it from the Department of Defense website. I have discussed this before. Please refer to my videos on securing Microsoft Edge and securing Outlook, or securing Office as a whole, and including Outlook. And we can secure Microsoft 365 email servers by using the CIS recommendations. So let's see what are the recommendations of the CIS to secure your emails and web browser. First of all, to ensure use of fully supported browsers and email clients. What we mean by fully supported browsers and email clients, Outlook and browsers are applications, and these applications may have security issues and have security holes. These security holes are rectified and solved by applying security patches. So you need to make sure that all of your browsers and all of your email clients are fully patched with security patches, and this is done in an automatic way by using WSOS if it's an Outlook and Edge, so it will be updated with security patches using the WSOS, or to use third-party utilities to secure non-Microsoft email clients and non-Microsoft browsers. For example, like updating Chrome, updating Mozilla Firefox. You can use a third-party software like Engine Batch Manager or SolarWinds Batch Manager to collect security updates of different non-Microsoft products and push it to the applications. Okay, so this is thing. And then this is the first point. And then to use DNS filtering services. What are DNS filtering services? To use some DNS servers that are aware of malicious websites, and it can help you to secure you not to get to this malicious website. So DNS have something like a blacklist maybe, or a filtering list that will only redirect you to trusted websites, not something like unknown websites. So let's also have here something again. Let me get to what is DNS filtering. Let me get to what is DNS filtering. So what is DNS filtering? So what is DNS filtering? Is a process of using the domain name system to block malicious websites and filter out harmful and inappropriate content. So the DNS, we all know that the job of the DNS is to resolve the names of the websites to the IP addresses, okay, of these websites servers. Okay, so it is a process here, DNS filtering, to protect the users or the machines from to be redirected to malicious websites and harmful inappropriate content. So for example, you can use DNS filtering to protect your kids from viewing porn sites or something. Okay, so this DNS filtering will block your kids or your infants from viewing some harmful websites. So this is the second thing, to use DNS filtering. in your organization. Okay, and this is, I think, will be processed, or it will be done with your internal DNS server. So internal DNS server within your domain should have DNS filtering services. And then the third point is to maintain and enforce network-based URL filters. Enforce and update network-based URL service to limit an enterprise assets from connecting to potentially malicious unapproved websites. For example, this here he is referring to using a web filter server. This is a feature that it is already included with the firewalls. So for example, if you have a FortiGate or a Sophos, these firewalls contains web filtering. It will filter the internet or the internet activity, and this firewalls contains already some mechanism for blocking malicious websites and suspicious websites. So this is also should be included within the firewall. This is the third point. The fourth point, restrict unnecessary or unauthorized browsers and email client extensions. So we all know that through the app locker, so we can enforce a way to force the users to use certain programs. So for example, by using app locker, we enforce the user to use the Microsoft Outlook client for connecting or to view the emails, or to use the Microsoft Edge to access the internet, or to view his web email, or to view his emails on the web. Okay, and both Edge and Outlook are fully patched all the time with security patches. But if a user will open a different browser, maybe Firefox, or opening another email client like Thunderbird, we don't have a mechanism to update these softwares with security patches, or we didn't harden these applications. Okay, or we didn't apply security measures on these applications. We only have security measures applied to the Edge and to the Outlook by applying security patches to these softwares and using recommendations of the Department of Defense to secure both applications. But we didn't apply security recommendations on the Thunderbird or on, for example, Firefox. So this is the fourth point of how to protect your email and web browser. And I've said before, please refer to my videos concerning how we can secure the Edge and how can we secure the Outlook. Okay, and the fifth point is to implement something called DMARC. This is a way, or this is something, or it is a protocol or a standard to protect your emails. Okay, so it is something, or relies on two things, something called SFP and DKIM. This is a protocol or a standard to protect yourself or to protect your email server from receiving mails from unknown senders, or from unknown senders, or from unknown companies. Let me show you all what is the DMARC and what is how it is what it will do, and what it is consisting of. So let me show you all something here. Let me open this. So here, let me show you a little bit of something here. Let me go to a little something of here. Okay, what is the mark? The mark, it is let you tell receiving servers what to do with outgoing messages from your organization that not pass SFP and DKM. So every email that comes out of your organization, it should include two things. Okay, it should include something called SFP. This specifies the servers and domains that you are authorized to send email on behalf of your organization. So you specify certain IP addresses that you as an organization allow them to send emails of your behalf. Okay, and every email that it is sent from your email server, it will contain a digital signature. Okay, so as a digital signature to you every outgoing message, which lets receiving servers verify that the message actually came out from your organization. So every email coming out of your email server will contain a digital signature, and you as an email server specify what are the servers and domains that you authorize to send emails of your behalf. These two elements, okay, the DMARC, okay, uses to control or to help you protect against spam emails or spam emails or receiving emails from unknown senders. So for example, when DMARC, it is a protocol, it will check the SFP and DKIM of every email that comes to you through your email server. If an email contains an SFP and contains a DKIM, then it will allow it to be received. If they don't contain these two elements, then you have three policies to apply through DMARC here to block the email, okay, or do not receive the email, or to quarantine the email, or to maybe do other things. So here, this is the DMARC. DMARC, it is a way that it is a standard email authentication methods. DMARC helps mail administrators prevent hackers and other attackers from spoofing their organization and domain. Spoofing is a kind of attack in which the from address of an email message body is forged. A spoof message appears to be from impersonated organization or domain. Okay, DMARC also lets you request reports from email servers that get messages from your organization or domain. These reports have information to help you identify possible authentication issues and malicious activity for messages sent for your domain. So DMARC, it is standard, okay, that will help you not to receive emails from unknown senders or from suspicious suspicious users or groups by applying to your email the DKIM and the SFP. Okay, let me show you a little bit of a video discussing what is the DMARC. Let me show you all something here. If you open this video, okay, this is a small video.
More so, it made these messages
So here guys we can see that this is what is the DMARC. Okay, DMARC, it is a standard to protect yourself or to protect your email servers from getting suspicious emails or something like this. And this is briefly this video discussing what is a DMARC. And by the way, it is applied in Microsoft 365 email servers, but these are only applied to the inbound emails, not, or the ingoing emails, not the outgoing. Let me show you all DMARC Office 365. Let me show you all if Microsoft applies this standard. Let's see here. Does Office 365 use DMARC? Okay, yes, the industry standards for email authentication is essential to email security. Microsoft DMARC is enabled by default for inbound emails in Office 365, but organizations must manage their own configuration for outbound emails. So you need to do this for your outbound emails, okay, through the Microsoft 365 email server. And here is how you can set up DMARC for Office 365. So let's go there and see. Here, this is the steps that you should do to implement DMARC. So let me show you all. I think here how you can do this. I think there is, let me show you all. Let me get to how we can set up or how to enable DMARC. Let me get to this one. Use email, okay, DMARC to validate emails. Okay, this is how you can set up DMARC through your Office 365 email server or Microsoft 365 email server. These are the steps, okay, that you should use or you should go with to secure your outbound emails. Okay, your inbound, it is already applying DMARC standard. So this is something you should use to secure your outbound emails. So let's return back to the recommendations. So implement DMARC, block unnecessary file types. So you should have some rules on your email server or Microsoft 365 email server or Exchange email server to block some types of files to be sent through the email. Maybe you are applying rules not to send exe files through the email, to send zip files through the email. This is also to block unnecessary file types. Okay, and I encourage you all to see the CIS recommendations for securing Microsoft 365 email servers. Deploy and maintain email server anti-malware protection. So your email server or Microsoft 365 email server should include anti-malware protection, a mechanism to scan the emails for anti-malware files and viruses. So these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the 7 steps to secure your email and web browsers. Okay, and I encourage you all to see the recommendations of the Department of Defense to secure browsers like Edge and to secure Outlook clients, and see the CIS recommendations to secure Microsoft 365 email server. Please refer to my videos in this series to secure Outlook clients and to secure Microsoft Edge, and see the PDF of the CIS to secure Microsoft 365 email servers and Microsoft 365 services in general. Okay, so this is the 9th points or something. I think I missed a point. So the 8th points was audit logs. Let me show you all. The 7th one was continuous vulnerability management. So this is what the 7th point. 6th point, it is access control management. The 5th point is account management, and the 4th point, secure configuration of enterprise assets and software. Let me get, this is the 4th point, and the 3rd point is data protection. Okay, data protection and inventory of software and hardware. Hope this video in front of you all, and thank you all for viewing. Thank you so much.